rundown of my first month of using the bullet journal seriously. I started practicing last year in September. Used it on and off and did some pretty wild experiments, I guess. Just meaning saw all the possibilities and got overwhelmed and had to decide to cut it way back and just stick to the basics. And that's worked out pretty well for this first month of the new year, January 2017. But for this go round, I got the official bullet journal. If you can see the logo there, purchased it from bulletjournal.com. It's a loop turn, or however you say it. It's a pretty nice little thing. It's got the key with the standard. And you can create some of your own. And some tips and stuff are built in. Got a built-in index section. It's got 3 nice little tabs, little bookmarks, so you can find special spots quickly. 4 pages for the index, and 4 pages for the future log. I decided to go with the Calendex. I really like the look of it, but I haven't figured out, just because I use other things like a Google Calendar, how to make really good use of this. So for right now, it's just kind of a nice visual spread, and all those references in they are referencing page 5 and 6, which is next, which I just decided to write birthday, anniversaries, and holidays. Just kind of an extra place to really pay attention to those. Just did 2 pages, 6 blocks each. Then we jump into the month. I did a little differently. I'm not using the journal for task management at all, other than maybe something pops into my head really quick while I'm writing, or if it pertains directly to the journal itself. So I used the January spread here a little differently. Actually, didn't write in the days until the day after. I filled this out first, but came back and just kind of gave a one-liner recap of what I felt that day was about or was like. Something to go back really quickly and recall. Probably most of it only makes sense to me anyways. And then my daily, I followed kind of just the same pattern all throughout the month. Got the day here, and I started kind of a countdown here. 2 days left out of, or 2 days passed out of this many left. I made little symbols here. This is about as artistic as I got. I've seen some pretty awesome stuff out there, and just wasn't working for me through my experiment last year. We got a little cloud for weather, a little sun to do sunrise, sunset, little book looking thing, got a Bible verse, word of the day, and then the calendar events, any highlights for that day. And just kind of kept that same pattern all throughout the month. Here I kept, started some different collections. I really like collections as an aspect of the bullet journal, and a lot of these are things I'll go back and revisit throughout the year. Personal mission statement, keywords, kind of starting that thought process. Each week I've got a page for sermon notes. As you can see, weeks go by pretty quickly. started prayer requests at the end of the sermon notes, since we have life group on Sundays itself, and was considering transferring those ongoing or unanswered prayer requests during my monthly migration. And here's one of my favorite little things. It's I called it January Habits, but it's kind of a mix of some observations. Did it rain? Mixed in with things that I'm actually trying to build habits around. So yeah, just sideways in the journal, got your dates running across, and the specific thing recording down this side, and most of them are just whether it happened or not. Some of them I got a little more meaningful with the characters there. And yeah, so the only difference there, I'm going to change that up. I'm kind of going to split this in half and do one side, specific habits, one side observations. I'm going to put it directly at the beginning of the month, since now I know I'm going to do that. A little easier to reference. Yeah. There's another collection. Just something I thought was meaningful to me was life. I called it Not Life, New Life, and Life After Life. Recording births, deaths, and when people are reborn. You can see there's 3 already. This is something we'll refer back to all throughout the year. That's about it. The only last thing was a little recap at the very end, last page of the month. And time to move on to February.